Get the chopper back now. Who's this guy? Whoa, please, wait. No, please.
Marcus Redmond, you failed this city.
Stephen Amell, the Mr. Green Arrow himself, apparently his words were misinterpreted when he was talking about the strike. He says, I have no clue what I was trying to say. I'm going to get into this, okay? But before I do me a favor, and if you're liking my videos, please hit that like button. Please share it with others. It's really important. You know, I'm trying to grow this channel, trying to grow this show, and your support. And you guys have been fantastic, and I really appreciate all the support and all the DMs I've been getting from you. It's incredible. I am enjoying this ride. I hope you continue with it with me. Anyway, so let's get to this story here. It's in People magazine. It's talking about Mr. Green Arrow himself, Mr. Tough Guy. I'm the vigilante. He says now he's getting some backlash for some things that he said about the recent and ongoing actors and writers strike, including some of his fellow Arrowverse alums, after calling the SAG-AFTRA strike a reductive negotiating tactic over the weekend. Oh boy, you know, you can't really say anything negative about this strike when it comes to the union. The union is right about all these things. So let's get into the article. It says Stephen Amell is clarifying his stance on the ongoing SAG-AFTRA strike. On Tuesday, the Arrow star, who's 42, shared a message on his Instagram to show his unconditional support of the actors union after he received backlash for speaking out about the strike at GalaxyCon in Raleigh, North Carolina over the weekend. You know, they have these comic cons or these sci-fi cons and these metaverse cons or whatever, and all these actors go. And I've been to a number of them, and it's fun. It's fun, really. I think I went to one and I actually saw one of the people on Arrow, which was really fun. He says, I support my union. I do. And I stand with them. I do not support striking. I don't, he said during the convention's fan Q&A, which later went viral on social media. I bet it did. I think it is a reductive negotiating tactic. I find the entire thing incredibly frustrating. I think the thinking as it pertains to shows like the show that I'm on that premiered last night, I think it's myopic. So the backlash started almost right away, okay? And I get why the union would be upset with him, because, you know, they're all supposed to stand together on this issue, and it's an important issue to them, and I get it. But he has this belief that there's other ways to get the other side to get at the table and negotiate with them. He believes this, okay? And so because he voiced this, and it was in contrast to what the union believes or what the union's been shooting for, he finds himself in this whirlwind of backlash. Maybe you think it's warranted, maybe you don't. But regardless, it's his reaction to it, I think, that's most telling. So let's continue on with this. He says in a lengthy Instagram post on Tuesday, Amell said that he wanted to provide clarity or context to ensure my feelings aren't unintentionally misinterpreted, because sound bites can be taken out of context, and I have too much respect for my fellow union members to not clarify the record. Fair enough. People do that. This is the media. This is the world we live in now, where you can just take a sliver of what somebody says and blow it completely out of context. It happens all the time, especially in politics. You see it on the news. And those of you that watch it, I don't really care to watch the news. But anyway, that's besides the point. The actor then went point by point through his comments to give context to each of his remarks from the event. Okay. And he goes on, he says, I understand fundamentally why we're here. My off-the-cuff use of the word support is clearly contradictory to my true feelings. Oh, no, they're not, dude. And the word support is clearly contradictory to my true feelings in my emphatic statement that I stand with my union. Of course, I don't like striking. Nobody does, but we have to do what we have to do. So he's trying to backpedal this now. And this is the point where the union and that big monster that he's in, this is the point where he gets on his knees, okay? And the union is going to pull their pants down and bend over, and he's gonna smack them lips right on that butthole, because this is what he does. This whole thing is what he's doing. He's brown nosing now. He is totally on his knees kissing that booty, because that's what he has to do, because he knows he's in a sling. So he's going on. He goes, our leadership has an incredibly complicated job, and I'm grateful for all that they do. Despite some of my terrible early acting work, I assure you, I'm not a robot, he continued. From an intellectual perspective, I understand why we are striking, but that doesn't mean it isn't emotionally frustrating on many levels for all involved. Duh. Like, dude, you were just speaking your heart, okay? Just because the big monster decided that it was going to, use the vice on you and squeeze you. I mean, look, they have other problems right now, okay? You're reacting to the comments on your Instagram. You're reacting to where other social media, wherever you posted this, wherever this thing went viral. It says it went viral. This is the first I'm hearing about it. And really, I don't think a lot of people are all that burned, honestly, except those in that industry, except those that are in the strike. And, they're all trying to collectively stand together on this. And I get that. I really do. But, you said what you said, bro. You don't have to sit there and kiss now, man. You don't. You say, look, I said what I said. I stand with my union, and that's the end of that. And, let's move on. But to sit here and to basically grovel now, he also clarified his reference to the strike being myopic, noting nothing about the strike is funny, but I may self-deprecate for a moment. I have no clue what I was trying to say here, and who says I think that thinking. Bro, seriously, come on, man. You knew exactly what you were saying. You were talking from your heart. That's how you felt. They didn't like it. They're squeezing you. You're kissing. You're kissing their butt now, and that's all this is, bro. And that makes you look weak, bro. Seriously. I mean, I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't do it, even if my union, and believe me, they probably would. If they were to call me up and say, "Yo, you got to stop talking. You got to walk this back." I'm like, I'm not walking a thing back, dude. You got the wrong guy. I mean, unless it was something that was so completely out of character for me, and something that's so out of the park, yeah, maybe I would. But this isn't out of the park. Come on, man. He's just saying that there are other ways to go about negotiating this thing. And maybe there is, because whatever they're doing isn't working. How does this thing close out? Excuse me. Perhaps it was an inarticulate shout out to our crew and cast who mean the world to me. He added, I'm simply sad that we don't have a chance to celebrate a show that all of us figuratively and literally broke my back for. Well, I get that too, man. I mean, on some small scale, I get that. When you're working with a crew and you put a lot of time, sweat, you put a lot of time, a lot of sweat, a lot of blood, a lot of tears, man, a lot of tears. This is sad for me. I mean, I love the Green Arrow. I've watched the Green Arrow. I love the Green Arrow. I've always have. I think he's a fantastic actor. I really like how he portrays that character. And to see him grovel like this, I mean, I'm curious. Let me know what you think. Am I off base here? I mean, is this man groveling now? Is he trying to walk this thing back? And all of a sudden, his buddies are like, "Hey, man, hey, you gotta get on your knees now. You gotta beg for mercy." I don't know. I personally don't think that it was all that bad what he said. I think he should just say, "Look, that was a heat of the moment situation. Let's move on." But Hollywood, the showbiz, it's a different beast. I'm not particularly in that world. I'm not. And I'm not so sure how I would react, but I can tell you just from knowing my character, and maybe you guys can relate. There ain't no way I would walk something like that back. Ain't no way. But that's just me. Tell me what you think. Drop me a comment, hit that like button, share this with others, and I really appreciate all the support. It's really, really warm and fuzzy feeling, and I really want to thank you. So until next time, God bless.
New Kingdom Radio Theater.